Today I want to talk to you about being uncircumcised or intact in the military. So, as you know, I've talked about it before a little bit. I've been in the military for quite some time. I started out active duty and now just in the National Guard. But one of the things you hear people say is that, you have to be circumcised to be in the military. And no, that's not the case. Now, in the military, you have people from across the country, and they have the same biases and misinformation as everybody else. So sure, you're going to run into people that think circumcision is better, that foreskin is gross, that you should be circumcised, all these kinds of things, just like you do in the general population. The military is not unique in that way. However, there's no rule that says you must be circumcised. Now, I will say, for me, when I went through MEPS, which is kind of the place where everyone has their physicals. It's a very thorough physical before you join the military. I had a very old doctor who was there, and he was doing the physical, and, he pulled back my foreskin and looked underneath and everything, which was okay because I was an adult and I'm retractable. Of course, you should never do that in a child because a child is not supposed to be retractable. But I'm an adult and I was retractable. So he pulled back my foreskin and looked underneath it. And of course, everything was fine. But it's a little annoying because he didn't pull my foreskin back to where it goes. He left me retracted. And so I had to pull it back myself because he didn't even think to do that. But the other thing that he said is he asked me like 2 or 3 times. He's like, so are you having any problems with that? I'm like, no. And are you sure? I'm like, absolutely not. And he's like, well, the Army can take care of that for you. And I'm like, no, I'm quite attached to it, thanks. And that was it. So, there was no force or whatever. And yes, I agree, that people shouldn't even try to get you to be circumcised. I totally agree with that. But I was not coerced into being circumcised. So anyone that says that they were made to get circumcised to join the military, that's not true. That's, if someone did it, they maybe gave in to that pressure or whatever, but there's no requirement and they can't make you get circumcised. So that's not an argument. So being in basic training, I was in the Army, is where I started out. I was in a platoon with 40 other guys. And, there's showers are pretty open and whatnot, and privacy is not a thing. So I was pretty much the only guy who was not circumcised, but didn't bother me. I was happy that whoever saw it, if someone sees my foreskin, the more other guys that they see that are not circumcised, the more that maybe they'll think about that in the future when they have their own boys or whatever, and maybe they'll think, there's no reason to circumcise him. So I don't mind, people seeing when I'm in the showers at the gym or when I was in basic training or whatnot. And, people definitely saw. There's no hiding it, when you're in basic training. But again, were there some comments? People are always going to make little comments about everything. And basic training, pretty much nothing is off limits. But it was no big deal. I'm happy to have my foreskin. I'm proud of it. So nothing anybody says is going to make me, feel bad about it or change my mind. So I just want to, put that to rest. It's like I don't mind if someone sees that I have foreskin, and it's kind of like, yes, I've been in the military, and so it's like many people have seen that I have foreskin, and it's really not the issue in the military that people seem to think. So again, not a reason to circumcise. Like I said, I've been in the military. I've been out in the field for several weeks at a time when I was over in Germany, and had no problems with my foreskin. There was no infections or anything like that people try to say that uncircumcised guys are dirty and they're going to just get infections and not do well when they're out in the field because it's going to get dirty under their foreskin. No, that's not true. So there you have it. I've been in the military, still am. I have my foreskin. It hasn't been a problem. And once again, I wouldn't get rid of it for anything. So we need to keep promoting how awesome it is to have foreskin, and to encourage people to not circumcise others, and to encourage other people to not circumcise. Everybody needs to stand up to put a stop to this practice. Have a great day.